Hello, I'm Alex from A.P.Ink. So this is going to be a bit of a different video. This is going to be basically my year in review for 2023. Kind of a condensed, didn't watch it um, video. So today I'm just going to be going through all of the sketchbooks that I'm currently working through and going through each of the pieces that I created this year. So, in no particular order, I think what I'll do is just kind of move these off to the side, and I think I'll lay them out on my table, on my desk. Some of these, well, I mean, the nature of any art is some are hits, some are misses, but this is just a layout of everything that I did this year. Hopefully some of these pieces aren't going to blow out the camera. Some of these came out kind of neat. Some of these I thought were neat at the time, and now I'm not so sure about. I've got quite a few to get through. These pieces that I'm starting with are actually on poster board. Quite a few of these pieces are mixed media. I like how this one came out. This one's not that bad either, in my opinion. I don't know how that comes off when I'm saying, well, I, I don't know. I was just thinking, I don't know how that comes off me saying, oh, this piece of art that I made isn't that bad, but I don't know. I think you can often be your worst um, critic. This one is really subtle. There's actually a faint color gradient going on here, but I don't think the camera can actually pick it up. Okay, so that was all poster board, and that's all that I created this year in this um in that sketchbook. So moving on to the next, just flipping to where this one starts for this year. These are sketchbooks that I created myself. I just realized that doing it this way might have everybody looking sideways, but I've got quite a few to get through, and I was just trying to, I don't know, think of the best way to do it so that I wouldn't run out of too much room. So this year I worked on a art challenge by a YouTuber by the name of Sea Lemon, who put out a 30-day fruit art challenge. And this was the first one, watermelon. This is sketchbook paper. This year I also got into fan art. This piece was kind of neat. This one's not so bad, but I think the proportion or maybe the angle was a little bit off. I mean, it looks okay here, but on camera it looks kind of wonky. This year I also tried to get into more of sketch portraits, just to practice sketching faces a bit more. I think in the new year I will have to try and revisit that. I have been going through a bit of an issue about being able to draw faces that I'm happy with. More fan art. Random doodle. Another random doodle. This one ended up, I didn't like this when I first did this one. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but I'm still kind of not sure about that one. And I think as I went through these art challenges, the fruit art challenge, um, the overall composition I think got better, but I think I ended up getting a little bit smaller on the page as I went along. Catwoman. A bunch of bananas for the fruit challenge. I'm not sure about these strawberries. Some oranges. I also tried really hard to vary my content for all you. Kiwi. I'm not sure about this one. I think this one came out kind of neat. A dragon fruit. A lime. With the fruit challenge, I stuck to doing these just colored pencil. And for that, I was using Crayola colored pencil. One, because I had them on hand and I was trying to figure out what to do with them. But two, because I don't believe you need to. It's a um, pear. I don't think you need to break the bank. An attempt at grapes, which I had trouble with the grapes. I tried a couple of different starts and ended up um, I didn't end up with anything that I thought could really read as grapes, aside from looking like marbles. But yeah, what I was saying, I don't think you need expensive art supplies to be able to create anything that looks like art. Yeah, a peach, a mango. This one kind of came out neat, I think. A piece of it's meant to be coral. Grapefruit, a squid, or an octopus, papaya, I think. Yeah. I on all of my pieces, I try to write on the back the date, what it was. Like this is sea lemon 30-day fruit challenge number 18 papaya, how long it took me and the colors that I used, just in case I ever need to reference those colors again. Another squid. I think this was a vampire squid. Yeah, this was mixed media, so uh, alcohol marker base, and then I defined or rendered with colored pencil. This, I think this was, yeah, I had a random black pencil, colored pencil, no insignia on it, so I don't know who manufactured it, but I was trying to come up with an excuse to use it aside from just getting rid of it. So that was, I think, an attempt at a moon. This is an avocado. Another sketch that I did or illustration that I did with that one non-branded black colored pencil, which I think that came out kind of neat. A pomegranate, more coral, Another one tone or one color creature. I think this one also came out kind of neat. Some raspberries. More coral. So yeah, I don't know if it's really worth pointing out or not, but as I went along this year with the fruit challenge, I was running another kind of challenge alongside it. This is an attempt at honeydew melon, which I wasn't happy with at the time. I'm not sure about it now. I mean, on camera, the difference between in person and on camera is almost a completely different illustration. Um, but for whatever difference it makes, for each fruit that I created, I was also creating a sea creature of some sort. And just as a fun challenge for myself, I guess, whatever colors I used during that fruit challenge, I would then turn around and use in whatever sea creature I was creating. Try and make more room. I've still got quite a bit to go through. Another piece of coral. I believe this is an attempt at cantaloupe. Yeah. I don't know if that really works for cantaloupe. I think this is supposed to be papaya. Guava. I already did papaya. Coconut. See, I like how the flesh turned out, but I'm not sure. I was trying to recreate kind of that fiber kind of. I can't think of the proper words for it, but the fibrous strands that kind of go on the outside of the coconut. I don't know if it really comes off, but tomato. Passion fruit. Apricot. I don't remember which way this was supposed to go. Maybe like that. I believe a plum. Yeah, plum. See, I think if I had the opportunity to go back and do these again, I would try to get them all to look like this, because I think like the cherry and I think just the cherry and the plum are the only ones that I actually had like on. No, raspberry too, I think. This is, I think, fig. That's unfortunate. I never wrote down what it was, but I think that's supposed to be a fig. Okay. That was all sketchbook paper. This sketchbook, I have sketchbook paper and mixed media paper. So I'm just going to switch to that. for this year. This was just a doodle to start with, basically, for the year. I think this was the first piece I created. I kind of like how this one ended up. I did try to kind of re-embrace that with this piece and this piece. I think this piece falls short, but I think this piece kind of gets there. And then from there, I got into kind of a tangent on pop art. I don't know if this really captures the whole pop art feel. Just a random pattern. I tried to create a gradient with the series of gray markers that I had, but I don't think it necessarily stands out on camera. More pop art inspired. This was a test that I was doing, or an example I did for shading random art pieces that didn't necessarily get anywhere. More random art. Some doodles hit, some don't. Now, these, what was it? Last year, 2023, 2022, I had done a series of circus inspired art that I was thinking about going back to. Got these two pieces done and then stepped off of it. Well, okay, I lied. I did do at least one more. This was a piece inspired by a photo one of my viewers sent me. Kind of came out neat. I think the perspective is a little wonky. An attempt at an elephant. The end result didn't come out that bad, but the marker I was using was dying. I think in a way it kind of lends to the texture of the skin, but for the most part it's just a fail. This was, I think, an attempt at the other colored pencil one that I had done in the bubble. It's interesting, I guess. Random tile pattern. I think this came out kind of neat. Piece inspired by St. Patrick's Day. That was all colored pencil. I don't know. Just a random abstract, I guess. random repeating tile pattern. Random abstract. More fan art. This one is meant to be Bruce Wayne from Batman. Richard Grayson. Barbara Gordon. It was about this time that I think I said that I wasn't going to do any more non-outfitted superheroes because they could be anybody. Here, I tried to get back into the animal studies. These were supposed to be dart frogs. This is only my second sketchbook. I've got 3 more. Here I got into Care Bear fan art. Wasn't happy with how, I think this was Shine Bear? Friend Bear. Excuse me, Friend Bear. I wasn't happy with the color options that I had, so I ended up doing 3 different versions. More Care Bear. This was part of an animal study that I did for Mandarin duck. There was a regular one and an albino one that I found references for. I think the markings on the albino one are still kind of interesting. More Care Bear fan art. I didn't do all the Care Bears. I just did the ones that I thought were, I guess, like the most popular. And then from there, I did the Care Bear cousins, Lionheart, Playful Heart, Gentle Heart, another squid. I believe this one was a Dana squid. More Care Bear cousins. Superman. Wonder Woman. A sea turtle. My attempt at Vampire Hunter D, the main character. Okay, the recording stopped, so I took the opportunity to try to move everything that way. So continuing on, More fan art. This is Chi from Chibbits or Chobbits. Um, yeah, Link. Zelda. An attempt at the fairies from the game. Some little cute stars. Sailor Moon. Her eyes are just wrong. Um, Sailor Mars or Ray. Sailor Mercury or Amy. For anybody watching, have you seen Sailor Moon? If so, which version? English version or the original Asian version? Lita or Sailor. And just blanked. Sailor Jupiter. S- uh, Mina, I think, or Sailor Venus, and then Tuxedo Mask. I've got 3 more sketchbooks to go through. I will try to pick up the pace. So this year, I also did I've been working on a series for zodiacs. Um, I did. I started it last year in 2023. The clips for this sketchbook have never been quite right. I started it in 2023, continued it this year. I don't know if I'm going to call it done or not. I did. I started with um, the Western zodiac constellations last year, and then went on to. Okay, sorry. Um, I did planets along with it, except for this, which is meant to be the sun. Um, Depending on your take on it, the planets may or may not be part of the zodiac. This is Mercury, except that I think some people believe that depending on what month you were born in will determine what planet you were born under. Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. I don't remember what some of these are, which is why I'm checking. Saturn. Like I should remember, but don't necessarily. Uranus, I believe. Yeah, Neptune, Pluto. I know they've apparently classified Pluto as no longer a planet, but I swear it was a planet, then it wasn't a planet, then it was a planet, then it wasn't a planet again. So I did Pluto anyway. Then from there, I got into the animal signs. I started with the Chinese zodiac. So snake, rabbit, I want to say cat, but I don't think that's what it is, and I did not write it down. Yeah, I didn't write it down. Um, I'm sorry, I don't remember what this one actually is called. Ox, pig, horse, goat, I believe. Yeah, goat, dog, rooster, rat, dragon, monkey. And then from there, I went back and got into the Western zodiac. So Aquarius, Pisces, I believe. I think that's the fish. Um, Aries. Now, I went back and forth on this because the Chinese zodiac and the Western zodiac both have representation for a bull, which in the Chinese is ox and in the Western is Taurus, but it's still represented by a bull. This was meant to be an attempt to depict Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. I made a couple of attempts at Libra before falling on this one or deciding on this one. Scorpio, um, Sagittarius, and then finally Capricorn. Okay, I'm going to pause real quick and try to condense this again. Okay, I'm back. So I may have pushed everything like too close together, but we're getting into the bigger pieces now, so I'm going to need more room. All of these sketchbooks are sketchbooks that I created myself. Uh, this size piece is a standard sketchbook paper, Strathmore. I think Strathmore is generally what I go for, but I take one piece and rip it in half, where these smaller ones are one piece quartered. So getting into the bigger pieces, I continued on uh, well, I already showed some with the ducks and the dart frogs, but here I dualed the paper. So, um, well, I mean, if you've been following me for any length of time, you may have seen how I run my animal studies. I'll start off with kind of quick uh, marker illustrations of the animal, and then I'll come back and get into more detailed pencil illustrations. So this is a pileated woodpecker. And then this page actually bled through. This page bled through on this page. I don't know if you can, the camera can pick that up, but there's yellowing here from this marker. That's kind of interesting and disappointing. But now that I know, I can try to protect my pieces a bit better. So the animal studies that I do are 5 days. The first day I do the marker. The second, third, and fourth day I do the pencil sketch. So a day per pencil sketch. There are 3 pencil sketches. And then on the last day I will paint one. So from the pileated woodpecker, I then got into a hummingbird, ruby-throated hummingbird. So marker sketch, pencil sketch. Remember where the camera is. And then the painting. Sea creature. These first few pages are sketchbook paper. The sea creature, well, 2 sea creatures really, but one kind of humanoid, one more animal. I did work a bit more on human form, which for my problems drawing people, I don't necessarily think it's the body that I have problems with as much as the face that I have problems with, which is technically a fairly new issue that I've been trying to work through. A problem that I'm going to try and get more into trying to get through next year. This is a squirrel study that I did. I think both the quick marker illustration and the pencil sketch, I think they both have a place. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say the marker illustration is that bad. Not that it's that great either, but the painting I did. I think for this, I don't remember what reference that I was using, if it was a gray squirrel or a red squirrel. I'm guessing because I used orange markers, it was a red squirrel. Why this guy is so red looking. another sea person and sea creature. This was part of the dart frog study, which I don't know. I I really want this to be more about the art than my personal grievances, but I did have an issue about people complaining about my art, animal art studies. I understand, and I, for the most part, agree that the animal studies can be a bit tedious. I do it for an entire week, Monday through Friday, but I believe it's actually improved my art as a whole. So I think it's something I want to get back into. I encourage anybody who does not want to watch it to come back the week after. I'll probably have to reiterate this next year, but a random abstract, which I think came out kind of neat. Abstract. Some of these are a bit more simple than others for the abstracts, and some of these didn't really turn out the way I was trying to go for. Like, I believe this one was largely inspired by peacock feathers. I think it's kind of hard to see in the camera, these kind of oval shapes. But I was attempting to try to recreate the pattern in a peacock feather. I'm going to end up running out of room again. I still have quite a few pieces to go through. I think this one came out kind of neat. This one maybe not so much. I got so far into it and then just kind of lost interest in it. Okay. This is another sketchbook that has half sketchbook paper, half mixed media paper. So I have to switch off to the mixed media paper side. Just flipping to where I started for this year, because I actually started this sketchbook last year. The number of paper cuts I have survived this year, I think, puts, I don't know, it's got to be some kind of record. Just in doing this, I've given myself 4 paper cuts. Okay, so again, this is mixed media paper. I've got one more sketchbook after this. Another sea creature and I'm not really sure what to call these people. I want to say squid Mersquids, which is what I've actually been labeling them. But this would be the project that I was running alongside the fruit challenge, where the colors I would use on the fruit were duplicated in these pieces. It may or may not make any sense. Makes sense to me, but it was my project. I think she ended up looking kind of flat. I tried to give all of these, well, the majority of these, I tried to give movement poses. A doodle that I think it started with promise and ended up as a big old fail, but that can happen. Okay, so I don't think I really touched on that all of my videos, except for this one, are live. But this one, I knew was going to be a bit more involved, and I generally don't really have time to edit videos. But I don't know for how many of you actually watch. Um, I don't know how many other artists out there stream live, post their videos later without any edits at all. So this guy was inspired by Candy Apple. I don't know if it really comes across, but I think the overall look and composition is neat. Okay, I'm gonna have to double up, I guess. There are so many pieces. This guy was inspired by vampires, Dracula. This guy was inspired by black cats. Inspired by witches, but I don't think I necessarily got that point across. But I think it still came out kind of neat. This one was also inspired by witches, but I said at the time, I'm not sure how you would necessarily depict that without like the classic broom, conical hat. This was the start of a skeleton that I decided I really didn't want to spend the time trying to detail, so that's where that one started and ended. A geometric shape pattern that, I don't know, it might have its place, but I would consider that one a fail. This one, I think, came out kind of neat. This one was inspired by, what was it? Log cabin quilting pattern with the tiered strips. I think this one came out kind of neat. Another abstract. Creature design, which I meant to have this one be inspired by kind of fall themes, but I think it just ended up being a weird creature. Okay, one more sketchbook. But I think this one only has a few pieces in it. Okay, so this was a colored pencil illustration on brown toned paper, which I think came out kind of neat. And then flip to, I only did one on that toned paper, but I have a few more in this book. This is a book I put together with just toned paper. Okay, so black toned paper. This is a piece I did based on a picture that I'd taken. I thought the picture was neat, which is why I tried to recreate it. A jellyfish. Hopefully you guys can actually see that. A squid. An attempt at like a oceanscape, half sky, half water. I don't think this one really works. Another oceanscape, more underwater than above. I think this one came out okay. Coral. This is another situation where it comes out different on camera than in real life. The camera is struggling to get it, but I can see it just fine. An attempt at a landscape. I got so far into it and then gave up. This one came out kind of interesting. Okay, I think I've got just one left, I think. I lied. I've got, I think, two left. Okay, so this is an attempt at a desert landscape. This is just a series of brown toned colored pencils on gray paper. Last one. Another landscape that I created. Okay, so all of my 2023 art spread out on my art table. I'm probably going to spend the next hour or two putting these all back in order in their books. I am going to call it for the year, though. I plan on being back next year, 2024. Just checking the date really quick. The 8th, I believe it is. It'll be the second week, or I think the first Monday of January. No, the second Monday of January, the 8th. Yeah, a lot more art. Uh, but yeah, I hope if you've been following me, watching any of my videos, that you've enjoyed this, that maybe it's inspired you to try your own things. Please, if you're watching on Twitch, please make sure that you're following me and that your notifications are turned on. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, please make sure that you're subscribed and that your notifications are turned on there. But yeah, I hope everybody had a great year. I hope you're looking forward to the new year, and I'll catch you all then. Thank you. Bye.